What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raise. Riverdale has been a massive hit for the CW and fans of the Archie Comics. The show has been running strong for several years now, but there have been several mix-ups and accidents that happened due to the Riverdale cast that threatened the show's cancellation, as well as the lives of the cast members. From head injuries to car crashes, today we will take a look at many of the accidents the cast has been through. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos. Let's be real. I'm sure all of us have already heard about KJ Apa, aka Archie's infamous car crash back in 2017. But this guy just can't seem to stay out of trouble. If you look up anything about the cast of Riverdale, you'll immediately be met by pages of articles that tell about the many injuries KJ Apa has been involved in over the last few years. KJ is currently 23 years old and was originally born in New Zealand. He got his start in acting back in 2013 when he appeared in the New Zealand soap opera Shortland Street for a couple of years. From here, he moved on to other films including A Dog's Purpose and The Hate You Give. By 2017, he had been cast as one of the starring characters in Riverdale, Archie. If we start back in 2017, you likely remember how KJ made headlines when he was in a terrifying car crash late one evening. The cast had been working hard on Riverdale, and it was reported that, at times, they had been working for up to 16 hours per day. Most of the actors had time to take breaks in between shots, but that wasn't true for everyone, and it certainly wasn't true for KJ. When filming the series, KJ had been living about 45 minutes away from the set, so he had a pretty lengthy drive home at the end of each day. In September of 2017, KJ had been working a particularly stressful day when he hopped in his car to head home late that night. He made it a few miles into the journey before he fell asleep and crashed his car into a light pole. For most people, this would be lights out permanently, pun intended. But KJ walked away from the car crash almost completely unfazed. He was taken to the hospital and was discharged a bit later after doctors realized he had no serious injuries. His car was completely ruined, and the crash raised a lot of awareness about the long hours that many young actors are forced to work. His crash eventually caused the CW to revise their rules about travel when coming to or leaving from a set after a long day of work. In the end, they made arrangements to provide the cast members and crew with a taxi, a driver, or a hotel room at the end of each day.
Did you guys...
We kissed once during Hedwig, but that's it, and we didn't want to hurt you and Jughead.
While this certainly doesn't make up for KJ's near-death experience, it's at least a step in the right direction. But we're not done with KJ just yet. There is another story that's been covered in the news quite a bit, but a lot of fans are completely unaware of it. If you think back to the season finale of season 1, you probably remember the tense scene near the end when Archie is seen punishing the ice while being surrounded by snow. While most movie sets use face ice or fake snow, the Riverdale cast actually filmed in the snow and ice to give the scene a very authentic look and feel. If you watch the scene of Archie punishing the ice, what you may not realize is that there is a small mat hidden underneath the snow that was designed to absorb his punches so he wouldn't get hurt too badly while filming.
And on the subject of being friends, Patty, I'm sorry I've been such a witchy witch to you.
Though no one could have anticipated just how hard he'd be punching that mat. While it certainly cushioned the blows a little bit, Archie ended up punching his hand directly against the ice several times, leaving him fracturing bones in his hand. He admitted that he got a bit too excited while punching the ice, but said that he didn't notice anything was wrong until about 20 minutes later. He explained that it was so cold outside that he couldn't feel his hands, so he had no idea just how hard he'd been smashing into that thin mat. In the end, as his blood returned to a normal temperature, it began to throb and he realized something was wrong. He said he didn't tell anyone, but he soon realized that he had completely broken his hand while filming the finale. He kept this a secret from his co-stars for quite a while.
Somebody help!
I think we all understand that film sets can be both exciting and terrifying, depending on what type of scene is being filmed. However, for Madelaine Petsch, filming the first few seasons of Riverdale was extremely difficult. The crew demanded a lot of the young actress and her character and was put through the ringer more than once. In one scene, Madelaine needed to trek through ice-cold freezing water to capture the perfect moment on camera. This is incredibly dangerous and led to Madelaine getting so cold on set that a member of the crew and 3 of her co-stars needed to huddle around her with blankets to keep her warm. The crazy part is, she had to film this scene more than just once. It was genuinely unbearable.
Have either of you seen Jughead? I have a problem that has his name scribbled all over it.
You mean True Detective? He's busy canoodling Nancy Drew, no doubt?
To make things even worse, Madelaine later revealed that she has a serious fear of open water, so that only added to the terror she must have felt while being forced to walk into such frigid water. She says that once they began shooting, things weren't so bad. She was able to disassociate herself enough that she could come to terms with her fear of open water, but that certainly didn't help warm her up in these near hypothermic conditions. Thankfully, KJ Apa, Lili Reinhart, and Camila Mendes were by her side to make sure she was safe throughout the process and keep her warm in between shots.
I'll just warm up and go home.
Fine, Ronnie. Let's go. I'll give you a ride to the Jubilee.
So we've probably covered enough about KJ Apa, right? Nope. Not at all. KJ had a couple more serious accidents in mid-2020 that left many of us fans wondering if he'd be okay or if he had managed to permanently injure himself. In July of 2020, KJ posted on Instagram after realizing that something was stuck in his eye. A couple of his friends tried to help him out and figure out what was going on with his eye, only to realize that he had a piece of metal stuck in it. We don't really know how he managed to get metal lodged into his eye, but it was a terrifying ordeal, to say the least. The video went on for a couple of minutes before one of his friends suggested finding a doctor, but KJ explained that he needed to be on set the next day to film, so he had no time to find a doctor. In the end, his friend helped him remove the metal from his eye, but he began to freak out after realizing it had left a pretty nasty gash in his eye that wouldn't soon heal.
Did Betty tell Jughead about what happened between you two?
No.
Finally, KJ's most recent injury came just a few days later on July 31st, 2020. We don't know too much about this injury because the original Instagram posts have been removed, but KJ returned to the set to film a few more episodes of Riverdale. Somewhere along the way, he was performing a stunt and managed to suffer a serious head injury. He posted photos of the accident to Instagram, showing his neck, head, and shirt being drenched in blood. In the end, he needed to get several metal stitches in his skull to help the wound heal. I can't imagine what sort of stunt he must have been performing to get such a bad injury, but he seemed to be in good spirits after all was said and done. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.